I'm Flint Ballantyne, president of Ballantyne Gear. That's me in the picture. We'd like to make a comparison of the two best fall arresters, in our opinion, for sloped roofs, the Camp Goblin and the Edelrid Fuse. By the way, before attempting anything you see in this video, get the right training. Working at heights may cause injuries and death. Both fall arresters slide freely up a rope, but the Goblin will only slide down the rope when manually actuated by the user. This makes the Goblin an ideal tool for someone that wants or needs to be in fall restraint. That means you can't fall off. Often, a user can work at the edge of a roof with the Goblin and not be able to fall off. Don't try this, but could your fall protection do this? The Goblin can also be used for fall arrest. Because it has a built-in energy absorber, it does not require a shock pack or any other external energy absorber. The Fuse, on the other hand, will freely slide up and down the rope. For hands-free, this is a recommended fall arrestor. If a user falls from the roof, the device will arrest the fall. It cannot be used for fall restraint, however. It has a lock feature that can reduce a free fall. The Edelrid Fuse fall arrestor must be used with an Edelrid diffuser energy absorber. Some argue that a fall arrestor should freely slide up and down a rope like the Fuse, while others argue that, like the Goblin, it should slide freely up the rope but not down. Maybe this is like arguing whether a hammer is better than a screwdriver. If I'm tearing off shingles or carrying a lot of product on a roof, I probably want hands-free like the Fuse, because my hands are often not available to operate my fall protection. If I am installing shingles, solar panels, Christmas lights, etc., and the material is already on the roof, I want a fall arrestor that will not slide down the rope without manual actuation, so that I can have fall restraint, especially if I'm working where a fall arrestor might not stop my fall in time, such as on the edge of a one-story roof. If your Goblin or Fuse fall arrestor is not sliding up the rope as easily as is currently shown, you can tie a loop on the rope just above the ground and add a little weight, maybe a couple of carabiners, as was done here. For the observations going forward, we are not attaching weight to the rope. Frequently, you will see me helping the rope through the fall arrestor. If I am going on a roof, carrying a small load or no load, and I want my lifeline to be attached to have my dorsal or upper back D-ring when I get on the roof, I will use a Goblin. My personal Goblin lanyard is attached to my dorsal D-ring. The Goblin at the other end is attached to my lifeline. Going up the ladder, I attach my Goblin to my sternal or chest D-ring. Every 2 steps, I pull the slack out of the line. Once on the roof, I remove the Goblin carabiner from my sternal D-ring. Keeping the lanyard and the Goblin at the bottom of the Goblin carabiner, I can remove the Goblin carabiner from my sternal D-ring without risk of dropping my fall arrestor. From here, I can easily slide my Goblin up the line. I am now in fall restraint. I can only go down the rope when I actuate the Goblin. You'll notice that I am being extra cautious. The roof is wet from rain, and I'm wearing new boots. We thought about rescheduling, but some people, like roof cleaners, have to work on wet roofs, and they might be wearing new boots, so we continued. I am also protected while going down the ladder. I'm going to repeat what I just did, but this time I am going to be carrying a bag of shingles, and I'm not going to attach my Goblin fall arrestor to my sternal D-ring while climbing the ladder. Climbing the ladder is doable, but it is awkward, and I am not as well protected. Once on the roof, it is still a little awkward. But notice that it would have been easier if I would have allowed the Goblin to slide freely up the rope instead of pushing it up. Going down the roof and the ladder isn't too bad, as long as I have a free hand. In this next climb, I'm going up with the Goblin attached to my sternal D-ring. Much better. On the roof, I am leaving the attachment to my sternal D-ring. Going up, this works well, especially on a steep roof. Coming down like this is a little awkward. It would have been easier if I would have detached my Goblin from my sternal D-ring prior to descending. As a note, when working on a roof, sternal attachment is used only if you are in fall restraint so that you are not at risk of falling off the roof. Now I'm going up with shingles, with sternal attachment only while going up the ladder. After climbing the ladder, I detach the Goblin from my sternal D-ring. This is much easier than the last climb, with sternal attachment the whole time. Time to change things up a little. This time I will go up and down the roof with the Edelrid fused fall arrestor attached to my dorsal D-ring. Going up the roof is similar to going up with a Goblin. On the roof, you can see me feeding rope into the fuse. However, as I mentioned earlier, if you suspend a small weight on the rope just above the ground, the fall arrestor should slide easily up the rope. Going down the roof, I am not required to actuate my fall arrestor. This makes it easier to descend, but I am not in fall restraint, as I was with the Goblin. If I have an available hand, I prefer the Goblin, but sometimes I don't have an available hand and I need the fuse. Now let's go back up and down with the fuse, carrying shingles. Pretty much the same as going up and down without the shingles, just a little more awkward. I hope that we have given you some good ideas. Remember though, every situation is different and you'll need to make a plan for every job. Like and subscribe to support roof workers.